Hola, audiencia, and welcome to tonight's episode of Cinema Club. I'm Jason Eccles, and we will be reviewing the 1985 film. I was going to say Super Cop. It's not actually called Super Cop. It's called Police Story, and it's starring Jackie Chan. None other than Jackie Chan. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by an illustrious panel of co-hosts, like always. Steve Dez, Don Dino Spazzini, and the dignified couch potato, Marina. So, you guys, let's jump straight into like first impressions of this film, if we could. Um, or actually, before we do, I guess I should tell you why I chose it. A couple reasons. One, it is on the 1001 movies you should watch before you die list, but I was planning on picking an action movie because we haven't really done a lot of action, like straight up like action films on this platform. So I was like, that'll be fun. It'll like break things up a little bit for us to do something a little bit different. As a karate film, I always like watching those, and it's Jackie Chan. I believe we've done one other Jackie Chan film before. And as I started to like look for copies of this, I noticed that it was a Criterion film. And I was like, oh, this should be pretty fun. Um, and then like I wasn't really sure if I had seen this movie or not because I've seen so many Jackie Chan movies. But then about like a quarter through, I was like, oh, I've definitely seen this film. So it's not my first time watching it. But let's go straight into first impressions. How about we start off with none other than Steve Davis?
Okie dokie. Thank you for the initial first impressions from me. First time watching this movie. I'm familiar with Jackie Chan's work. I think the movie that I've seen the most of Jackie Chan is one called Who Am I? Because uh, because they will like in Puerto Rico where I grew up, like they would literally play that movie over and over and over again, like
Great movie, great fight scene.
in the local channel, but dubbed in Spanish. So like instead of saying "Who am I," Jackie Chan would say "Quién soy yo," and it was hilarious. I watched that movie over and over again. Man, this movie was intense in many ways. Like I think I seen like out of this particular movie, I think man, like so many people from movies, TVs, and even cartoons have taken stuff from here. Like I can just see it. Cause like man, when those cars went through that whole favela and just destroyed that whole thing, I was like, what? Like how
Bad
long did
boys,
it take
bad
to just
boys.
shoot this one scene? Like and like the some of the fighting sequence, I was like, is this in fast forward or is this like regular speed? Because this is crazy. Um, Jackie Chan is just a freaking treasure of a guy. I saw the video Dino put on the group chat also of him describing the stunt where he had to jump in the mall and go through the lights. That's crazy. And then when I saw like how many things he basically broke and got injured while filming this, I was just like, yeah, like, and not like I want to know not just him now. I want to know like the other people because I'm like people were falling crazy, and there's like this didn't look like a mannequin. This looked like a real person, like doing twists and turns and crazy stuff that I'd never seen before. Uh I laugh a little bit about the guy peeing himself. That was that was a funny bit, and there were many moments like in the film that it just like has like that quirkiness, and that's what I think made this movie very enjoyable for me. Because at first I was like, okay, is this just gonna be all fighting all the time, or what's it gonna be? But like adding that subtle charm to it with the comedy and Jackie Chan doing his faces and all this stuff. Like, yeah, this movie is amazing. I'm surprised I never seen this. And also, while looking up this movie, I realized there's like 17 of these movies. That's crazy. More than Final Destination. Anyway, that's my first impression.
Oh wow, that's great. We'll explore some of that. I didn't know there was 17 of these, so let's
I'm
talk about that
exaggerating.
later.
It's not 17, but there's a lot of these movies.
Okay, from my count, there was four, but we'll get into that.
I think there's
I
like
mean,
five, to be honest with you. But yeah.
all right, cool. Marina, why don't you go next?
Yay! So this is my first time watching this movie. I've never seen the prequel to Rush Hour. It was very,
Same.
it was very cool. Yeah, I didn't get to finish the entire thing, but I think I pretty much have the gist of the ending. But I liked it a lot. Like I wish I could find like an English dub because sometimes I feel like you miss stuff. Like if you look at your phone one time, I feel like sometimes you can miss when you're watching subtitles. But yeah, it was cool. I think it definitely it's probably really cliche, but I think because my first impression of Jackie Chan for me, because I am a girl, not to say that girls don't love movies about fighting and stuff, but most of the ones I know, like Rush Hour, is what we know Jackie Chan from. And I'm sorry to all the super big Jackie Chan fans. So but it's just that's just it. That's all. That's my lens. So I think it was kind of like familiar, like because it was silly. Sometimes you forget that the United States isn't the only place with comedy. So like I don't know, I was expecting it to like be some serious like Bruce Lee something, and it was just like, oh no, this has like a funny plot, like when he like set up the girl to make her feel unsafe, and him and that guy were fighting, and the mask and the feathers. I was like, okay, this isn't just going to be some serious thing where I don't really understand what's going on. So I had a really good first impression on it. I'm definitely going to completely watch it in full, but it's it's a lot more lighthearted than I thought it would be for an action-packed film. And I too really liked a lot of the action. Like I had to look up the year again because I'm like, man, this is kind of like a lot of budget into this stuff. So I thought maybe it was the 70s, but I guess the 80s. But still, I think even for the 80s, there's a lot put in to the stunts and the action and the cars. And I do also agree, like yeah, it's giving like some Fast and Furious stuff when it comes to the car scenes, and you wonder if they kind of took some ideas from that. But yeah, overall, really good first impression for me.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Marina. Dino, you got a first impression for us?
I think second. I don't know, Jason. Maybe you remember I went through my Jackie Chan phase. I
Sure.
don't know, maybe 3 years ago. No, more. Shit, maybe pre-COVID. That I think I watched Police Story 1, 2, and 3. Um, maybe, yeah. Interesting, Marina, that you brought up Bruce Lee, because Jackie Chan used to do stunts in his movies, and then he even talked about how everybody, especially after Bruce Lee passed away, everybody was trying to be the next Bruce Lee, and he was kind of like, there is no other Bruce Lee. So what he decided to do was try to incorporate comedy, because that was a whole thing. It's like you and like showing his like expressions of getting hit and like hurting and all that. So yeah, that's basically his style, and he's also a huge fan of Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd. So we saw in other movies. It's interesting you talking about movies nowadays. I was even thinking of Bad Boys when they go down the favela. I'm like, oh yeah, this is probably where they got it from. Of like, but the difference is, I feel like Bad Boys went down the favela in like Humvee vehicles and all that, and they went down this like shanty town and just like these shittiest like Mitsubishi like two-door cars, whatever. But yeah, so as movies now take from him, he was also redoing stunts that they did in silent films. So that Buster Keaton, like one of when he's hanging from the bus, I could have sworn that I was like, oh, he's doing the Buster Keaton bit where he's like hiding on the back of the car. The difference is usually Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd. Some of the stunts they did a lot of visual tricks and camera positioning, and whereas like Jackie Chan in a lot of those, they didn't use camera tricks. They just like, yeah, he's gonna jump and he's gonna crash, and they would do a lot of takes or it wouldn't work. So yeah, so I think this one, I want to say my first Jackie Chan film that I think I watched, not including whatever little Bruce Lee movies he was in, was maybe Rumble in the Bronx. Man, one of my buddies had that on VHS, and yeah, that was, I think, our gateway drug into, as kids, into uh, Jackie Chan, and then Who Am I, and all his other movies. But yeah, so this is one of those. I mean, it's on the Criterion, and so is Police Story 2, and I don't know if the third one is. That's the other thing that we also. There might be 15 ones that are called Police Story, but that could just be because that's the best way to translate them to sell his movie in Western things. I don't know if they technically are all the same or if it's just like, let's just package it this way. Needless to say, it was funny. I didn't realize, I forgot that when he's answering phones, then they even, what is it? I don't know if you can say on YouTube, what is it? The R word? Then that becomes a jokey thing, and then it's a whole thing of like the morning after pill, but doing it like a year later. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were doing those kind of jokes in a Jackie Chan movie. So that was probably the most surprising thing for this watch for me, was just that idea. But kind of like with also, I think Jason talking about it, I get confused because he's like all these stunts and all that, and like which stunt is which from which movie. So definitely Police Story 1, 2, and 3, Super Cop. I'm kind of like, was this movie? Was it that movie? But yeah, I enjoy Jackie Chan, especially his older work. And there wasn't like one of my, as a kid, favorite things of a Jackie Chan movie was like at the end, like credits roll, and it's like, okay, let's look at the stunts and see what parts he broke, right? Or
Yeah.
like him actually getting like smashed by the car or smashed by a table or whatever. It was like, it's to the level, like, and I feel like even better than those like post credit Marvel scenes or whatever. Like watching, like it just shows the humanity of it, and like, oh, he breaks. This is not CGI. This is not, this or that. Like, this is a couple guys like, hey, let's do this. Like, they also kind of say that he invented parkour, right? That all there's a French parkour guy, and they've basically kind of, I think, said Jackie Chan kind of brought it all into a thing. So parkour, that's it.
Parkour. Thank you so much, Dino. So my first impression of this movie, this is my second time seeing this movie, certified. At least my second time seeing this. um, I do. I really like this movie. I like it for a lot of the same reasons that you guys like it. I had forgot that there was so much comedy involved in this movie. I mean, in most Jackie Chan's movies do have a lot of comedy, but this one was pretty unique in the fact that it did feel like old time silent film story. And I know he borrowed a lot of he picked a lot of little things from Chaplin and Keaton and Lloyd and all these guys. And the him hanging from the bus with the umbrella is so iconic. I mean, goodness gracious, it's like it'll be the first thing on Jackie Chan's highlight reel, his career highlight reel. It has to be. Um, the opening scenes of this movie, like Steve said, where they're going down that little favela and those cars, and it's just like, wow, this is like pure, practical effect action. There's not a lick of CGI. There's no green screens. These guys are really blowing stuff up. They're really driving cars down shanties. They're really destroying this village. Like, it's pretty incredible. Um, the stunt team, they deserve like their own sort of like character credit in this thing because they're brilliant. And Jackie Chan, seemingly seems like to be like the choreographer in the credits at least. I mean, I didn't like read the credits, but it seems like he's sort of directing the stunts for the most part. This movie really is brilliant, because you don't have to even honestly, you really don't even need to know Cantonese or Chinese or whatever they're speaking in this. You don't really need to know it. Um, and you really only need limited subtitles to be able to follow the plot. It's pretty much all there. And maybe there's some stuff, some like exposition here and there, like in the office scenes or the courtroom, where you wouldn't have a clue. But I mean, this thing is, you know, you don't need a ton. It's really about the action and the comedy, and Jackie Chan is brilliant in it. And I do believe I read that Jackie Chan said this was his favorite action film that he ever did, and rightfully so. It's brilliant. Um, uh, this wasn't my intro to Jackie Chan. My intro to Jackie Chan, like Dino, was Rumble in the Bronx. And I think just because that movie had such big U.S. distribution, like it came out here and it was like in theaters, and you know, and then once I remember that movie came out, all of a sudden Jackie Chan was everywhere. There were Jackie Chan DVDs in stores, or not. It was VHSs still. There's VHSs like for all these Jackie Chan movies, and where I thought this guy was like a new star, it's like all of a sudden there's like 15
Yeah.
VHSs at the video store. Like, what? When did he do all these? And then you find out this guy's been working since like, you know, the 70s or whatever. You know, he's very clownish in this movie, and you know, you can see like a lot of his circus background. I guess he was a circus performer, so you can see a lot of that in this thing, and you know, his playfulness, and there's just some of the pure jokes, just the stuff that goes on between him and the girlfriend and the woman that he's protecting, and that little trifecta that happens in the all that's just very funny, and his dialogue, and you know, foot in his mouth kind of thing. You know, so like Jackie Chan is very funny on levels. And for the first time, I watched a Jackie Chan movie and I thought to myself, oh, this is why Rush Hour happened. Like it's kind of a match made in heaven. Like him and Chris, because Jackie Chan, like I think sometimes people forget because he's such a talented, gifted, like physical actor that you forget like that he's actually funny, and he handles the comedy very well too. Like so, he's brilliant in like both aspects. I mean, he probably would have been fine just as a comedic actor, honestly. I mean, because he's just well versed in like how to perform stuff up for an audience. So it's very cool in that way. I guess that's all I have for like a first impression. But like I said, I really did like this film. All the fight sequences are brilliant. You know, all that choreography, brilliant. Everything that happened in the mall, it's like classic mall combat scene. You know, this might have been like the first time anything like that has ever happened in the mall, and it's just it's really great to look at it. So yeah, let's jump straight into this movie. You guys had some opinions about a few things. I should have wrote them down because I already forgot them, and I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Real
I'm
quick? I
gonna.
think he wasn't in the circus. He was, I think, in like a ballet opera thing, or
Them.
so. I mean, but the training was I was so into Jackie Chan. Any documentary that came up when I was little or whatever, I would watch. So yeah, he was trained in some like I don't not the Beijing one of those, but to the point where you know it was stuff like jump over the table, and if you didn't, like he was like they would like beat you with a stick or stuff like that. So definitely to a certain level. Anyway,
I just
speak.
want to mention. I just want to mention a few things that might get dismissed, and I want to straight off the bat say it before I forget it. One was the joke when he was offered the bodyguard position of like, you'll get a bonus of
Oh,
32, of
80,
32.87.
3280.
You're gonna need your wallet because this is like something that was written a long time ago and it hasn't changed. So
And it was only a day. It wasn't even like an hour or whatever. It's like, damn.
You said
I'm
the bonus
I
was $32.
and 80 cents a day for being the bodyguard,
Wow.
and it
yeah.
was like,
He's
and
like,
it's that you know,
wait,
and that's an old
it's an
yeah.
old law. Yeah, old law, and then they never change, so it is what
They've
it is.
never updated or increased the amount. So who knows how long that's been in there. Uh, Also, on just a level of just how insane, not just the stunts, he was filming. He was doing like the Michael J. Fox Back to the Future thing, where he was doing Family Ties in the morning and shooting Back to the Future at night. Jackie Chan was shooting a movie during the day, and basically this movie we're filming all through the night. Like
Wow.
almost everything, other than like the day stuff, the majority of it was all just filmed at night. So like him going down that pole and like burning his hands and like he broke or almost broke vertebrae and all that. And then the next morning they were like picking him up to go film another the other film. So the level of just pure freaking, you know, adrenaline or to just be able to like do that
I
is
mean, he can get away with it in this movie because like he's exhausted for most of the movie. So it's like, yeah, you just look tired, and that
he
makes a lot of
shows up.
sense. Yeah.
Oh, I will say one of the things I forgot. Like this is the other thing, right? You're just so involved in his that the plot almost doesn't really matter, right? It's like, yeah, Jackie Chan's gonna fight people and it's gonna be great. But I forgot that he like sent his buddy in with a mask. So I was just like, man, this is the worst assassin ever. At the very, and then when like the mask falls off and he's trying to hide his face, it's like, dude, you're gonna kill her. Why? It doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter that she sees your face. You're literally gonna kill. And then I was like, oh yeah, my bad. Like,
Yeah, at
he's
first I
goofy
thought I was like,
around.
"Oh, this movie is really silly," like because this is. But
Like,
I'm like,
why can't he kill her? Why is he like? Why is he stabbing around her this entire time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that was the one time I was like, man, this is the fakest fight scene in the movie. And then I was like, oh yeah. I mean, the fakest thing out of the whole movie was just those gunshot sounds because it's like the old 70s or 60s, just pew pew pew. That was kind of
I didn't even
the
notice
most.
that, to be honest with you. But yeah, like there's probably like the old school gunshot in the what do you call it? Shots in a can, just regular sound effects that you just have.
They all have the same one, except they show like a magnum, and the magnum is like a little deeper. But all the other ones were revolver.
Also,
Uh,
talking about the same ones, all those judges and lawyers had the same wigs.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
They have
that's
those colonizer wigs, those
yep,
British
yep.
colonial colonizer wigs.
And then that's when they would say words in English, right? They were like
Hmm.
in the court, and
objection.
sometimes, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty interesting in that
yeah, for
sense.
sure. So I want to ask you guys about your favorite scene, but not just your favorite scene. I want to know what your favorite action scene was and comedy scene because I feel like they're pretty evenly balanced in this thing.
Hmm.
Something to
man,
think about.
well, mine is both.
Go
Well,
for it.
and I'll give it justice, but just the scene we were just talking about where the friend pretends to be a villain and tries to catch her. That I'll give that comedy. That'll be my comedy scene. I think that was really funny. I have to think about the action scene if
Oh,
anybody knows.
well, that was kind of Weekend at Bernie's then, ask because the guy's passed out and
Sure.
he's pretending to still fight him, like, and then
This
she
is only
just
a few
keeps.
years before Weekend at Bernie's at that, so
Yeah.
you never know.
You brought up the mall thing. Well, you have the Blues Brothers that drove their car through the mall in Chicago. That was an actual mall as well that they just
That's true.
completely destroyed for that movie. And then that was the other thing, like when they did that. I mean, that's got to be the stunt of the movie, I think, right? Just that whole final. Because I mean, you want to say the bus. I mean, talk about like just almost perfect cap to like action sequences, right? You get the beginning favela thing, then him riding the bus, doing all that, and at the end you have just this mall destruction, which was a legit mall that they had to film all that, and then the mall had to open in X amount of hours afterwards.
Hmm.
So that's what added even more urgency to like we gotta film this, we gotta do it. So um, yeah, I would, yeah, I can't even think about action
They
wise which
tore that
is
mall up. They tore that like even at the very end when like it's kind of over and they've got the guy and Jackie Chan's like you're not gonna like arrest him, you're just gonna let him go and he beats him up. Like
yeah,
he's still destroying the mall after. I'm like, good God. Like these poor shopkeepers, like who's paying for this? There had to be like millions of dollars of damage.
Nah, and like a lot of it was like kind of improvised in the sense of like, for example, when he did the jump, because that's the clip that you shared. The lights weren't working or something, and they had to like use the power of the mall or something like that.
Mm.
yeah.
Like he could have gotten electrocuted.
No,
Like,
he did. He even did also get electrocuted,
oh, he
and
got electrocuted.
Yeah, he got
Well, his
electrocuted
hands
and
were like
had
this after or
and
whatever.
and had second degree burns on his hand, and
Yeah.
Jeez.
then
Oh, I
And
crashed
then
thought it was
through.
the
where
friction. It was from the
Yeah,
electricity.
like he didn't
and from
have
the
like a proper he didn't have a proper like mattress or
padding.
cushion.
No,
So they basically gather like candy
yeah, to break
for
his
him
fall.
for him to land.
It's like you're gonna crash through glass and a like a tarp and candy, and that should save you. And then you gotta get up and pretend like you're still fighting. But yeah, no, I guess the issue was they were originally those lights. They were just gonna be battery operated. Well, because it was so many and such a long cable, the battery didn't have enough juice to power all that. So they were like, "Oh, we'll just connect it to the to the actual electrical grid or whatever." And and yeah, that whole scene, like him yelling before jumping, is him like, I'm terrified, but if like that was me trying to pump me up, and then they started recording, so I had to jump. And he was like, the guy next to me put in a Buddha prayer piece of paper in my back pocket. And he's like, I don't even believe in that. I'm like, that's your safe. Like, that's also how wild of stunts have come along, or just the difference of how they were doing it. Where it's like, we aren't gonna put a wire on you or put like pads down there. Here's a prayer, literally a piece of prayer in your back pocket. Bye.
That should save you. That should protect you.
Yeah, that's
If I
crazy.
was
Well, I
him,
mean,
I would.
he made it, so his
Yeah.
prayer must have did his job.
Every time I
Um,
think I love this industry so much, and I feel like I work so hard in my acting. I hear about stories from the past, and I'm like, I would have not made it. I would have
uh,
Many did not make it.
not. Where is the union rep?
so
Uh,
we okay. This is one, since there's so many different comedy moments. When he brings the girl to his apartment, who's kind of in a nightie or something, and his jacket, and he's got a surprise birthday party from his girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot it was my birthday," right? Which understandable, just because all the crazy shit that just happened. But then he gets just like, they're cakes. Like we're just gonna like, it's like Three Stooges or whatever, just cake smashing Jackie Chan. And then he's like showering, and his girlfriend comes back, and then he's talking shit about his girlfriend and trying to be all like, that's kind of funny too, right? Just the fact that he's trying to pretend like he's such a badass, and then there's so much phone work. Like I miss phone work, right, guys? Like everything is cell phone, the internet's on our phone, but there's something about just like a good old landline that you're just like on the phone and the other person doesn't know. But his girlfriend is right there listening to him just bullshitting it, and it's that famous old adage of just like, let him dig his grave deeper, right? Like, we could stop this now. We did try to stop it because we were trying to help him, but yeah, uh,
Yeah, the
yeah. So
core
I'll,
too.
I'll I'll say that whole comedic thing is, because there is, other than him getting smashed with cakes, there isn't really any like stunt fighting until the very end, where there's all that scooter stuff when he like pulls his girlfriend off the scooter that run. But that's my funny moment for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, man, like it's like as much as like he's known for fighting, I feel like yeah, it was pretty minimal. You just got the beginning when he kind of like fights his way to like infiltrate their area. Um, the end, and which I didn't get the privilege of seeing just yet. And then um the moment where they really come to try to attack her, right? So it's just like, yeah, I might need to watch the end, which seems like to have a lot of the cool stunts because like, yeah, I mean the driving the cars through the hill and stuff like that was intense, but like yeah, I don't feel like I really got to compare all the action scenes. So I'll just stick to my comedy for now.
Man, she's like, it's minimal action. Jackie Chan sucks. That's what I heard you just say. Like, these
No, but I'm
action
saying like
scenes are shit.
it's
I
more so
guess I
just
gotta watch the
perspective.
end.
It's more perspective because I think I was assuming that it was just gonna be a whole bunch of that. Like, like too much. Like I thought it was gonna be less plot, more fighting, and it ended up actually having more of a story to it, which is good for me. But when I have to sit here and say what's my favorite action scene, I just don't feel like like I have a lot of options. Like,
Well, I have
Story
a
is
favorite action scene, and that
okay.
is, of course, the mall, the end. It's
okay,
incredible. It's so, there's so much stuff there. Comedic. I have to bundle these two moments. I know they're separate, but I have to bundle them because they have something that connects them. So it was the scene that like he's with the girl at his house. She noticed in the photo that like that's his friend, that he was like a cop dude. And then she just goes like she pretends essentially that they're about to have sex together. And then she gets pinched by the cactus thing. And at the end, when she goes like, "I'm gonna go sleep by myself," and Jackie's just like, "Women are crazy, right?" or whatever, you know. And then that connecting to where I knew, like I just had that feeling that it was gonna come out, which is the part where Jackie is
Court.
at the court, and like they bring this big speakers and stuff, and they're putting that audio there, and the men with their wigs are just laughing.
Hmm.
So
I don't know why. I don't know what I thought was going on. So you're saying that because you said this is your first time watching this too, or no? Was this
first
your?
time, first time.
Yeah, I did not. I mean, it was. I didn't know what was going on, like what her angle was with that, and I was really confused when she didn't like sleep. Did they show the tape recorder in that moment, and I just missed it?
No,
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 they
Oh
didn't.
they
no.
didn't.
They didn't show it, but I'm always like, especially if just watching so much film, like I was just like that's foreshadowing into something because it's
Gotcha.
not
They,
like they're
yeah,
just gonna put that scene as just a throwaway thing.
yeah. They,
Yeah.
And
they they just showed it in the car where he's like, "Speak loud," because it's a small tape or
yeah,
recorder or
Yeah, I
whatever.
remember that point, but like
But
I
they
don't
did
know.
it in
I
the
thought she was just teasing him. I
yeah.
don't.
Well, I I I don't. She didn't. I think the recorder was just on. I think I don't think she recorded on purpose. I think it was right.
Oh, I feel like it
That's
has
what I
to be.
got from the court scene. That it was just a accidental recording of that whole interaction.
But why would
She
she
was definitely
purposely?
pretending to seduce him. You know, that's definitely was a thing to
Okay,
get
because like
back
the
at him.
cactus thing, that seems once you know the end game, it seems premeditated. Like she wanted to say "ow" and she wanted to
Yeah.
say "I'm wet" and stuff.
Yeah.
So
So I that is all her actually doing. I don't think they were purposely trying to record. I
no, and the
think that
owl
was
part was because of the cactus.
yes, yeah. So I think it was just a thing of like, oh, it's been on record this whole time, or it recorded over it. You know,
hmm,
just the fact is like, oh, it's an old tape. It's like that's
Yeah,
how cheap that department is. Like, oh, you reused the tape from some
it's more like
other.
how I see it. It's more like when she finds out, oh, these dudes are in it together. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna f with me. I'm gonna f with you."
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
feel like. Once I found out that she did it, but I just thought it was interesting that you assumed because yeah, I don't know, not knowing the end game, I thought the cactus thing just didn't make sense to me. Like, why would you intentionally hurt yourself? but but I yeah, I figured she did it in revenge because yeah, because they
yeah.
lied to her. But
Yeah, I could see how that could be a little confusing, that sequence. Um, I uh, I really liked. So as far as like just the pure action sequence, because it's like so unbelievable. Like in the beginning, them coming down the favela with the cars and whatnot, it's just like, wow, man, like you guys really did that, and like you guys probably messed up so many cars. If there was only maybe those cars, it just seems almost impossible to shoot something like that. Like,
No, and
so the
there's
fact that it was done is incredible.
in the I don't know if you saw in the ending, like one of the parts when they were like with the red car
Mhm.
going down, it like flipped over, and they had to
All
like
right.
carry it with a
Most people.
net, kind of
Yeah.
like put it back or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really would like to say one of the scenes with Jackie. I mean, they're all brilliant. All the action scenes are really thoughtful and brilliant. And I mean, that's what makes this movie, especially special. But yeah, I mean, and I want to say something physical from like Jackie, but it's just that scene. It just kind of blows my mind. Cause to just even perform it as a stunt. Forget filming it. Just even perform. It's wild. It's crazy. You
You know,
know.
just to add this,
Yeah.
the setup was brilliant
Mm.
because literally them going one way and going like it's blocked, and then going another way, it's also blocked, it's also blocked. Like, all right, we have to go through here. Like
Yeah.
that
Just
was
go straight through it.
amazing. And
It.
also like those beginning shots, it
Mhm.
reminded me of like I guess how they used to shoot music videos in the 80s. Like it was just like bam, 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 bam. And that kept my attention, me that I have like ADHD. Like it
Well,
just kept me locked in. Like those
most of those stunts, right? It's like you have one chance. So that's even just that like they had so many different cameras set up because it's like you aren't gonna rebuild this favela, this shanty town. Like we're going down, that destroys it. Like that's it. And similarly, then in the mall, he mentioned I don't know how many cameras they had set up, you know,
15.
and 15, and he said something like that was the most at that time. I don't quite understand what that meant for like one action shot or whatever because there were different types of camera also because I imagine they had one doing slow mo, one was yeah, he said that there were different aspect ratio or different style of film on them.
I mean, it was
And
so crazy that they replayed it like 3 times, which like
wouldn't
that's
you?
not
Wouldn't
normally.
you?
They don't normally do that in movies, but they like this is so
Wouldn't you?
incredible. Show it to the audience again.
Wouldn't you? I mean, if you like burn yourself, break vertebrae or like whatever, and you got to be pulled out in a stretcher, and they don't have oxygen, so they're just fanning you to try and get you to get oxygen. Wouldn't you be like, oh no, I know this takes out the whole idea of like sequence of what just happened. We got to show that like 2 more times.
Because people are going to want
Like,
to see it more than once anyway. So just give
yeah.
it to 'em. It's that incredible.
It makes me think of just like Jean Claude Van Damme and stuff like that when it usually was the fly kicks or fly spin kick, but that they would do that in like slow mo, like that it would look like it's a double, like a 360 kick. But this is just like this is so insane. We're gonna show it 3 times in the scene, different angles, one in slow motion, and yeah, that's it's wild.
It's
That's
pretty
a thing.
crazy. The comedy scene that I would choose is the phone scene where he's answering all the phones at the police station. I mean, that's just like classic pure comedy. It's so silly, and you already know where it's going.
Yeah.
But they put a really funny spin on it with like all the wires being tangled up in the middle of the room and the phones dangling there, and there's still like one phone that in the other office that hasn't been taken off the hook, and when it does ring, it's just a phone call company checking, like, because like people are calling the police station and they can't because you're taking the phones off the hook. Like all of that stuff is like very funny, and it's just really well sort of written, like jokes, like joke comedy. Like maybe they could have interchanged the rape joke because, like, I don't think that would like play that well today. And back then, maybe people didn't care, but like we are, it's like in our society now, we're a lot more sensitive to that stuff, and probably for the better. So, I do think like, yeah, I mean, this is an '80s film, and I'm glad it's there for the sake of like historic context. Like, yeah, people just joked about rape, but uh, I didn't. When I heard that, I was just like, whoa, come on, like that's wild. I mean, not the fact that somebody would call the police station and say this happened. That's normal. Just the fact that like it's in the middle of a joke.
Yeah, and then his solution, he was just like, take the morning after pill.
Yeah.
He told that to his girlfriend, right? And then the girlfriend's like, "Tell your mom to take it" or something like
Yeah.
No,
that.
oh,
Well, he
but
said it. He said it to both of them because he didn't
Okay.
know he was getting confused, and then
Yeah, yeah.
that's when. So two people had to hear it.
Also,
yeah,
talk how bad of a boyfriend Jackie Chan was?
Yes, 100%. I felt so bad for homegirl, and I feel
I
like
mean,
they,
most cops are bad boyfriends, aren't they?
but I felt like they, I want to see. Actually, that's on my list. I'm gonna do it right now. Sorry, I want to see what she like looks like because I feel like she's hot, and they have her looking all like she's
So
homely,
I
and
looked her up earlier, and she is in another movie with Michelle Yeoh that came out in 1993. It's called My Trio or Trio or something like that. It's these three women, and they're all kind of like in all these Hong Kong films. So it's her, Michelle Yeoh, and another chick, and they do kind of like they're all sort of dressed up and dolled up in that movie. I only saw like some stills of it when I was like going through their
And
catalog.
she probably was in multiple movies with Jackie Chan also, I would imagine, right? Like either playing the
Yeah,
oh
girlfriend or the
yeah,
friend or
she
the
was definitely
sister.
in all like at least three or four of the Super Cop films.
wait,
May.
she
May.
was in. She was That's where like I felt the beauty. She was the one from In the Mood for Love that we reviewed.
Oh, that's her?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right?
that is her. Maggie Cheung or whatever.
Yeah. Cool. I knew something was drawing me to her, no homo. I was like, there's just
But she's
something.
very sweet and pure in this movie. She is a very sweet girlfriend. She set up the surprise party for him and whatnot. And, you know, uh, he's just being a jerk, but he's just, he's trying to be like, bigger than what he is, and it's all backfiring. But
She
that's where all
was
the comedy's going to come from. So
talk about her. Oh my god, yeah. I was like, which movie is In the Mood for Love? And then looking at it, I'm like, that's insane. That
that
she
is insane.
was,
That's a really good call out, Marina, because I didn't catch that.
and
In
And
my
that's
that is
youth,
two.
she was younger in this movie because that movie came out in the
yeah,
2000s, right? Like In the Mood
2000. Yeah.
Yeah. So like she's maybe 15 years older. Because if anything, she looks really young in this too. So it's like a combination of things. So yeah.
Can I?
But yeah,
Speaking of young and all that, the bad guy, they said he's like 40 or 42, and I was like,
They say he's like mid to late 40s.
oh, I thought it was early to mid 40s, and I was like,
but even that,
damn, like I don't know, like I'm getting to that age, and I'm just like,
I thought
is
the same
this
thing. Like this guy looks really old.
this guy
I mean,
looks
not really
rough.
old, but just like much older than like mid 40s for
I
sure.
know, and
But
he
still,
looked grandpa. He looked grandpa age. I think
it
that's
was
where
different back then. People were chain smoking cigarettes and eating red meat like it was going out of style. And
well, maybe but he could be exactly how old he is. It's just they shouldn't have said that he was 40 something. Because he had to be in his 60s. Like
I mean, maybe life was a lot harder in China before 1985 and whatever. Like he would have been born in what like the 40s in China. It was probably a hard life.
said he was born in 1934. So
yeah,
he was at least 51. I mean, he was.
died
That's
in 2022. R.I.P. Young Chor, aged
And I
87.
don't know if you guys noticed, but like the police chief in this movie is like the police chief that he uses all the time in a ton of his movies.
oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Billy
it's
Billy
the same
Tongue.
crew. Yeah, it's the same crew. I mean, same stunt guy. Like again, it's you have those people like Tarantino and him and Scorsese. Like they all use the same kind of crew. It's like
Yep.
they know the language. They know what is needed, what is asked for. Um, how to do the stunts, and that's what then once he was doing Rush Hour and Shanghai Noon and all that, he didn't get the same freedom as he did back then, where it's like we're gonna do this sometimes. Like at the end, the they're trying to show him play around with the phones and like kicking the pencil to write and like
Yeah.
trying it, and that I mean that's really simple, dumbed down of him just redoing it, but it's almost like Chaplin-esque and all of them that they're like, we're gonna redo this bit or this stunt. It doesn't matter how many times we do it, we're getting it right,
Right.
and that's kind of a perfectionist thing that then they weren't allowing him to do in Hollywood movies because they're like, we have a schedule and we gotta do it, and we'll just we'll play around with camera angles to cut it in and basically edit around it. Whereas there, that's another thing he really wanted to kind of show off and look at the camera to be like, I want to make sure that the audience knows that it's me doing these stunts and it's not, some insert someone else, So that's definitely stuff that, was different, that is no longer going to be a thing. At no point is that going to be allowed now. Like insurance. The closest thing is Tom Cruise, right, and him doing his stunts, but
Sure.
that's also just one of those where he has that amount of control of his films that it's like, yep, you do you,
Even if you
but
wanted to do a movie like this and you say, forget the insurance, we're just going to shoot this thing crazy guerrilla style, like there's going to be people on set who are like, no, absolutely not. Like the stunt people, they're going to say, no way, dude. Like there's no one's going to allow it to happen. You know what I mean? Let alone like even if there was another Jackie Chan esque person who said, I'm going to do my own stunts, like no one would let him.
okay, it makes me feel better. The bad guy was 51 in 1985, so phew,
Okay.
it's at least like, but yeah, when they
At
first
least
said,
at least 6 years older than they made him out to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 I was
Yeah, and
Listen,
then
like,
dude,
like I was looking at his headshot too, and he did have mostly black and gray here.
Mhm.
So, it just could have been them. Yeah, but it's crazy. Like it's just a couple of years we changed, man. Scary stuff. Like, he
That's it.
probably
That's it. Like it can sneak up on you real fast, from what I understand.
I'm
Uh,
too old for
so
can
this
all
shit.
be avoided with some moisturizer, you know.
so this
was
movie was really acclaimed when it came out. I just want to read some of the nominations that it received, all from the Hong Kong Film Awards. But it won Best Film, 1986, Best Director, Best Action Choreography, Best Cinematography, which we should talk about a little bit, um, Best Actress, Best Actor, and Best Film Editing. This thing swept the '86 Hong Kong Awards.
They have best stunt in that, because that's one
Mhm.
thing they were talking about for the Oscars, that they wanted to include like a best stunt and stuff like that. And one
Well,
of
it's
the
not
reasons,
stunt; it's action choreography.
oh well, kind of similar action choreography stunts, right? That I imagine that can be cars or whatever, like. But one of the reasons why they supposedly aren't is because they worry that if that's a Oscar, an award, it's gonna try to have people push the limits to it and people get injured or whatever. So,
Hmm.
I can see
that
that.
one of the reasons why for that they didn't want to add that as an Oscar. Whether or not that's really the reason, I don't know. But
I mean, it's smart
um,
because you guys were just literally saying that like he burned his hands and stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Why would he have won that if he didn't push himself? And people shouldn't push themselves like that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love a good movie, but we can fix that in post, especially now. Maybe maybe not
well, now they just even
1981.
computer add faces to some of the stunt doubles, right? Isn't that more of a thing now as well?
Yeah, I mean, they would just do
Because
this like in green screen, and then he would have all the pads he needs to land on, and they'll be
Yeah,
edited out or made to look like he's falling on candy. So,
and
yeah,
they would have like some other guy do the long shot or whatever of just like falling down, and then a close up of him, and he's just like on a dolly rig or whatever. So, um, but yeah,
did you
I
guys
I could.
notice? I'm sorry, Dina. What were you saying?
No, no, no. That I was just finishing that thought.
I was
But
going to
what
ask
were
you
you
if you
saying?
guys noticed the cinematography. Did it stand out to you at all?
I mean, a lot of wide shots. I feel like, right? Isn't that
Sure.
a thing that he liked? That, and I think it also goes back to maybe like Buster Keaton and all that. Is like show the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Allow it to have the audience experience it kind of as much as you can, right? That uh, more Western cinema at that time. It's more close ups and like a lot of, whereas they had, we'll do the wide, we'll try to keep it as wide as possible so you can follow the action in hopefully one continuous shot, right? That's the other thing that makes the some of the action sequences so great is like they don't, there isn't a cut, right?
Right.
Like that's what makes it feel more real, other than them also doing it for real and getting hurt, is just like we're not cutting, we're showing this one fight choreography all at once, so you can tell that it actually is occurring and we aren't just doing tricks. Um, but is there something specific that you noticed from the cinematography?
Well, I did notice this time watching it that, this being an action movie, usually in the scenes where there is no, like, deliberate action, the camera is moving and zooming a lot, which I really enjoy because it's like they just kind of kept this thing moving, and even when like the action on the screen was sort of nil, they made sure the camera was doing some action work. Like there's a scene where they're like in the police station or whatever, and he's like getting some, information or whatever, and the camera's just sort of moving past him and his, superior officer, and then like, it goes past the superior officer as he's walking, and then like Jackie's right there, I guess at the end of the track, and then the camera sort of zooms in on them a little bit, like a hard sort of zoom. I'm like, this is dope, man. Like it's very stylized, and they use that style throughout the whole movie, and it just sort of keeps everything flowing, even when things get a little slower, or not even slower, just when things become a little bit more expositional, to tell what's about to happen next in the story. Like the camera's still moving like action style, which is kind of dope.
Cool, cool,
All right,
Yeah.
I got some information for you guys. So when this thing was made in Hong Kong, it was price adjusted. It was, or not even price adjusted. Excuse me. It was $500,000 budget. And this thing did really well when it came out in Hong Kong and Asia, and it ended up doing like 18 million worldwide, which, according to Google, it would be about 54 million in today's bucks. You know, pretty impressive stuff to like,
and that worldwide isn't what like a modern worldwide is, right? I mean,
no, not at all,
like
because you also consider like there's less to account for all the movie screens would have been more difficult back then.
right,
But also like there probably wasn't as many movie screens. So to gross $54,000 on a non-English speaking film in 1986, 85, 80, excuse me, 85 is crazy. I mean, but this thing obviously deserves it. And, we
right.
talked about it like almost being, it could almost be a silent film in a way because there's so much to look at. You don't really need, to,
Had I can imagine it being in the movie theaters in 1995 in South America. Like I'm trying to, like I'm thinking like Brazil, but
somebody had
I,
a Hong Kong theater or a movie theater that played some type of Asian cinema. Somebody had one. Somebody did. That film
cause
reel made it to South America.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking like it was also during Operation Condor where all of Latin America had dictators. So I
Yeah,
don't know if
that's a
we
thing.
weren't getting a whole lot of films in, guys. It was yeah. I'm just trying to think what would have been even the first Jackie Chan movie in movie theaters in Paraguay, and it might have been Rush Hour. That might have been the first Jackie Chan movie I saw in Paraguay in
I mean, that might be
cinemas.
the case, to be honest with you, because, you know, even though I know his movies played over here, they were probably just like the old, like, kung fu theater type cinema joints. I feel like this none of his movies got great distribution over here until Rumble in the Bronx, and that was
Yeah.
like 98, 97, 98.
Um,
But I mean, his movies have always played well in the UK, from what I understand.
right. Well, I
So,
mean, there's
people,
that whole connection, Hong Kong,
right?
UK. So, oh, we didn't talk about the music. It was funky beats there
It was some funky beats, man. I'm glad you brought that up.
I almost forgot to bring that up. Yeah,
It actually,
and
the music reminded me for some reason of like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. It was kind of like funky, acid jazz type stuff happening. A lot of just like a lot of like weird comedic off. I was thinking like when they did the music for this, they probably hired someone to like do the score and they watched the movie and they're like they were scoring it to like the comedy scenes and whatnot, and it was pretty
yeah.
funky. I'm like, well, maybe that's just what they're doing. Like, I didn't love it. I'm gonna be honest with
No,
you, but
but it gave it a feel, kind of like we've seen all the behind the scenes of like John Williams during
mm,
like Indiana Jones or Jaws, and like I want to see behind the scenes of the person doing the music for this movie, right? Or some of the earlier Jackie Chan,
I
like
would too.
like it's John Williams sitting down with Steven Spielberg, whatever. It's like who is sitting down with the music guy? Is Jackie Chan there? Is it what? Who's the director? Right? Like
Yeah, I would like to
I
see that guy on his Casio keyboard put this thing together.
that'd be great. Oh man,
Yeah, it's
let's
pretty funny.
see. Yeah, because Jackie Chan directed this one. He
Oh, okay. See the actual director. I don't know why I didn't like notice that.
yeah he directed this one, but then during the day, and he's co-writer in this one. But during the day, he was filming another one that he wasn't the director in. Composers, three composers.
Jackie
Okay.
Chan just out there grinding,
Oh
just
wait,
grinding.
there's a U.S. New Line Cinema version, original version, and an international version. I have no idea what that means. But I would imagine that Criterion Collection would have the original one, right? We wouldn't get Criterion Collection wouldn't do a U.S. New Line Cinema version for the soundtrack, right?
Oh well, yeah. Yeah, probably for some type of U.S. distribution, they might have changed it or something for the dubbed. You know.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, that's. I mean, there is a. I watched this on the Criterion channel. So there
Same.
was a U.S. Not U.S. I don't know, maybe U.K. I don't. It was a dubbed version on the
Yeah.
Criterion. So there was. You didn't have to necessarily watch it in Cantonese.
Ooh, I'll look up that because I feel like the way my brain works, I don't really take in things like the cinematography or the score because I'm too focused reading the reading and trying to like keep up with like just what's the center of it all.
Right.
So now that I thought about it, yeah, they were pretty wide shots, but in the moment I'm just like, okay. What are you saying?
That's the
So
thing about subtitle movies, man. Like you're
yeah,
so focused on the subtitles, especially the first time around, that you're missing all types of stuff happening.
and I
Um,
prefer the subtitle sometimes because you hear the emotion more when you hear things in the original, like the
Yeah,
yeah.
voices. But yeah, sometimes if I really want to just like observe, I probably need to watch it both. Like I need to also hear it.
Because
I agree with
Rumble in
that.
the Bronx, it's dubbed, right? I feel
Yes,
like because
one
he
hundred
was
percent.
in Rush Hour, he was doing some phonetically, right? He wasn't fully bilingual
Rumble in the
yet.
Bronx would have been 94, 95. I said 97, 98, but it would have been 94,
Oh.
95.
But so one thing though with dubbed version, sometimes I do like watching it if it's like old kung fu movies from the because I guess it has its own feel, right? Of just like the Shaw Brothers, uh, the Secret Chambers, like all those films, right? Even like Wu Tang brings it up, and so there's something about that period of like the 70s and 80s, like kung fu action things, and also like in Paraguay, the ones we would get would be Spanish dubbed, and the dubs were always like so off and so just like funky that it is kind of fun seeing it because it's its own kind of style, right? Because they even re-edit a little bit. But older, I do wanna, and the fact that with Jackie Chan, like it's cool seeing it in the original language and stuff like that, because it's not just an action film, right? For him, there's so much of the comedy aspects, and it just elevates it more in the original language. But some of the other older karate movies and stuff like that, uh, it's kind of fun seeing the dub versions, just because it's its own period as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. There's actually a thing about the dubbed version on the Criterion as well. There's like a little mini documentary about that. So
Yeah,
Criterion has a lot of stuff, a lot of features and extras that go with, I guess, both of these movies,
yeah.
Police
I
Story
and
One and Two.
I was just thinking of that more of the apps or whatever should have that as well. It's not like, especially movies that were at some point on DVD or Blu-ray, it's like they all had extras, right?
Hmm.
So on the Criterion one, like not only is there the dub version and stuff like that, then they have interviews. They have a featurette of his like stunts. Uh, who's the guy who directed Hot Fuzz and all of that and Baby Driver?
Not
He
Simon Pegg.
no. The director is Simon Pegg's buddy. Um, like he talks about it, like about Jackie Chan and this movie's in particular. So yeah, more apps should do that kind of stuff of like bring back little featurettes behind the scenes of the films that DVDs had. It's like that is there still. Um, so I don't know. That's the nice thing of the Criterion channel app, that you can see different interviews of not just like current people talking about it, kind of like historians or whatever, or people really into it, but also stuff from like the 90s of Jackie Chan talking about the movie itself, right? So yeah.
Very cool. Does anybody have anything else to add about this film? Anything else you guys want to talk about, or you're going to forever hold your peace?
Can't think of anything. I think we covered it, and I covered
Yeah.
what I could.
You did
Peace
well.
and
You did a
love,
good job.
baby.
All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up, and we'll do some final thoughts. Um, Same order going. It's coming back. Steve Dez, lead us off, fella.
Hey, for a first time watcher of this film, incredible stuff. I had a blast. I had fun. It's definitely one of those movies that you can just have in the background and just watch. I personally, little side note, bought a projector. So this was the first film that I watched in my new projector, and it
Oh
was
wow,
amazing. I think,
it's a
yeah,
great first film for a new projector.
Oh,
oh yeah,
bougie.
from now going forward, it's just like projectors all day. At least while I'm in
Is
PR,
this
'cause when I'm
is this
traveling, not
sponsored?
traveling.
Are,
I
are we
hope to be.
sponsored by the projector? What projector do you have? Are we being
Oh,
sponsored by them?
Yeah,
Links in the comments. Links in the
Yeah.
comments.
yeah. So click on the affiliate link right there that I'm definitely not putting. No, I'm not saying the brand. It's just some projector I got online. I bought it with my own money, so I'm not sponsored. But it was great. It was definitely a great experience. I will highly recommend to people to invest in projectors in your life because we're done with TVs, and this is not a sponsored message.
Jackie Chan would approve.
Jackie Chan
Propaganda.
is adorable. Uh, Jackie Chan is adorable in this film. He was 31 years old while filming this thing. And I had to look that up because I was like, oh my God, I'm just slightly older than that. And I cannot, for the life of me, move like this dude was moving. I am waking up with terrible back pain. So I can't imagine this
Few
guy
humans can move like that. To be fair,
doing all this stuff. Anyway,
very few humans.
I will highly recommend this film. People have never watched it. People are Jackie Chan fans. Great movie, great stuff. And I would definitely recommend watching Mandarin, man. or in Cantonese.
It was
Cantonese.
Cantonese. It said Cantonese.
Yeah,
So yeah.
All
language
right.
of
Great.
cinema.
Thanks so much, Marina. You got a final thought for us?
Yay! So, I was cracking up because Steve's like, "This is definitely something you can watch in the background." I'm like, dubbed, because like, what? I definitely wouldn't understand anything if it was just playing in the background. I'm not watching it like with my eyes. But my final thoughts. I liked it. Obviously, I didn't finish the whole thing, but from what I did watch, it was a good story. It had just the right amount of action. It had just the right amount of like female energy for me. I do like that it had a girlfriend and like and then a woman that like who didn't need anybody and but she did and then she didn't like it. I really liked I really liked her personality. I think it was the perfect character to play like this person you're supposed to protect. Should be an easy job, right? You just get her to the courthouse, boom. But I like all the twists and turns that this movie has. All around, yeah, and it's crazy. I never really heard of it. Like I knew that Jackie Chan obviously had other movies outside of Rush Hour 1 through 3, but I just never have taken the time to watch them. So per usual, thankful for Cinema Club for like opening me up to like stuff that I probably would have gone to the grave never watching. So I'm glad I am gonna finish this up. I am gonna probably rewatch it in the dubbed version just so I can take in some things that I might have missed because just trying to focus on the subtitles and rushing to try to finish up the movie. But yeah, I'd recommend it. I mean, like, I just don't feel like I have a lot of conversations with people that would want to watch something like this. But if I'm like speaking to other like people that love all kinds of movies and they have the same journey as me where they never really have like dived into like Jackie Chan's some of his first work, I would definitely recommend it to them. It's like, wow, it's really good. And I just can't I know obviously like technology has changed, but there's so many elements of this movie where I feel like they were ahead of their time when it comes to like an action movie. So it was yeah, overall really, really good.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Dino, you got a final thought for us, bud?
Um, Not really. I mean, it's great. Definitely at some point would watch this again. It's another one of those, like, I would love to watch this in a crowd. And I don't know if it was just because Steve said the projector bit, but it's like, when is like New Beverly or Vista or one of those, like, someone should have like a police story night, right? Or day, right? Or of just Jackie Chan films. Because I would definitely in a heartbeat watch that in a crowd. So yeah, again, it's one of those like it comes around, especially the older films. Uh, there's a Rush Hour 3. I don't remember there being Rush Hour 3, but I guess I probably also saw it. So yeah, great. Jackie Chan, a huge fan of his work, and yeah, I mean, I guess I don't recommend Jackie Chan films much anymore, which is weird because why they're great, they're fun, they're action. Yeah, I don't know. I got no final thoughts actually.
All right. Well, those are definitely thoughts, and they're going to be your final ones. Um, I will say, just so you know, you said you wanted to see Jackie Chan like a movie in the theaters, and what's up with that? And I looked it up, and actually on November 28th, Vidiot's Theater is playing this exact movie at 9:30 p.m. night show. So
Isn't that
there
Ooh,
you go.
Thanksgiving?
Vidiots are playing Jackie Chan movies in cinema.
subbed or
Is
dubbed. No.
isn't that Thanksgiving though?
The 28th, I don't know, maybe.
November.
Um, So let me do a final thought. So final thought on this movie is I do really like it. I would definitely watch this again. I don't need to see it right away. I very rarely need to see any movie again right away, but it does make me very excited to watch Police Story 2 and definitely Police Story 3. And if I really love 3, I might go ahead and watch 4. But I want to get to the one that Maggie, what's her name? Maggie, um, oh boy, why did I forget her name?
Was she in
Um,
this?
Margaret. No, wait, I forget her name. No, she shows up in Police Story 3, Super Cop.
Yeah.
She's the one from Everything
Crouching
Everywhere All at
Tiger.
Once.
Crouching Tiger,
Ooh.
right?
And yeah, I believe she's also in Crouching Tiger. But she shows up, and I do remember seeing that one as well. And I just remember her being incredible. But I do want to watch more of these. Michelle Yao. Um, I uh, I would recommend this to all kung fu fans, people who like action movies, period, across the board. As I was watching this film, I was trying to think to myself, where does this rank, like in Jackie Chan's like movie canon? And I think it's pretty high up there. I think this is definitely like a top five movie of his. Maybe not like the best fight scenes he's ever done, but they're great still. You know what I mean? It's just that there's not as many of them because this movie also does a lot of like there's a lot of comedy, physical work, and there are a lot of action scenes and some like very memorable ones as we've talked about. So I would recommend it to all the people who like that stuff, people who just like action movies in general. For me, this is this being a top five Jackie Chan action movie. If this was a number one action movie of his, if this was counted as his best action film, or even like best film, whatever, I would say this is a top 10 action movie without a doubt. And if it's not this one, then just sub any other Jackie Chan movie in there. Jackie Chan is definitely the top 10 of anybody's action movie list. At least he should be, in my opinion. So those are the types of people that I would recommend this to. And yeah, I'd be down to watching Jackie Chan in cinema, especially something like this, because like Dino said, this was shot in such a wide shots, and Jackie Chan wants to make sure he gets his whole body on camera so you can see all the work that they're actually doing and how authentic it is. So watching a Jackie Chan kung fu flick in cinemas probably would be pretty extraordinary. I haven't done that in a long time, maybe not that long. I think The Foreigner was like 2017, and I saw that a little Jackie Chan. That is more of an elder statesman, but still pretty good.
Yeah, we saw that
Uh,
one. That was great.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I would be down for Jackie Chan in cinema for sure. And he's deserving for the type of work that he does. I mean, you look at how he directed this movie. I mean, Steve was fortunate enough to be able to watch on a projector. I think this would play very well on a large screen. So that's it. That's my final thought. I guess that just leaves me with one other final thought, and that's Steve. What do you got for us next week?
Next week, I am so glad you asked me because we are going with my Paraguayan buddy, Dino.
Hey!
You're Paraguayan?
I know, right? Who would have thunk it? So Jackie Chan, part of my youth. Someone else, part of my youth, is John Candy, and a new documentary just came out, and that was my pick. I haven't seen it, and I want to see it with you guys and talk about it.
Very
So
cool.
I like me,
Looking forward to it.
Ooh.
And this one doesn't need subtitles.
or does it?
So for El Dondino, Jason_Echo, Steve Des TV, and the Marina Love, we'll catch you next week. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.